Okay, so we are today, I've replaced him with my beautiful girl Ahsoka. Hey, she gets treats because she's a good girl. There you go. Yeah. So anyway.
I get treats.
Oh, you want some more? She's just debuting, I think, in the director's chair up here. You're a good girl. So we thought today we'd actually just share a bit of insight in what it's like for Ahsoka to be living on the road with us, and how it is for us having a dog on the road. As most of you know, we had 2 dogs for the first sort of year that we're on the road, and now since having one, we just thought we'd just sort of share what it's like for her with us, living full-time in a van. I guess kind of from a dog's perspective. I know, she always wants the treats. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go through a few of the things that we carry with us, her favourite toy, food, her bedding, all those kinds of things that, you know, we have had a few questions on some of them about what we feed her and how does she go with sleeping arrangements and things. So,
What is it like on the road with her?
So, what is it like, Soka Pokes? Hey? I don't think we as a family could travel without a dog. I know it's different. I know there are pros and cons for both ways, but I couldn't do it without a dog. Soka may or may not be getting a companion next year. This year. I'm not quite ready yet, but I say come mid-year we're going to look into possibly getting another one, and just for some company for Ahsoka, because we're great company and she gets lots of exercise. She's great with Riley, they play all the time, but sometimes I feel like what I do with Riley when he's by himself, it's always awesome just to have a playmate to hang out with and run around with. And I know Ahsoka's always been around dogs. She came into a family with 2 dogs already, 2 elderly dogs, and I really feel she's missing having that companionship, and she's really gone into her shell a bit as well. She's always been a timid dog and a scared dog of everything, but I think she feels brave only going as far as off the mat underneath the awning, and then she doesn't go any further. So I think it just might help her. I don't know, what do you think, babe? Do you think she needs a companion?
I think so, but I think it'll help you too.
Yeah, I think it'll make me not worry as much, I think. Yeah. I worry a lot about her being by herself, and even though we're here in the van working and doing stuff, I feel like she'd be a lot more active if she had a sibling.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Soaks? You want a treat? Did you want a treat? Yeah? All right, so her favourite thing every day, she goes for about a 5-kilometre walk every morning with Tim before I'm out of bed. And when she gets back, all you have to say is, do you want a toothbrush? And her face...
Do you want a toothbrush?
You want a toothbrush? Yeah, would you like a toothbrush? Yeah. She absolutely loves these. These are really good for her teeth. I know there's heaps of brands out there, but she doesn't like any other brand. This is the only brand that she'll actually chew on. Well, she's really excited.
You're going to have to give her one now.
I know, I'll give you one. So these are actually really good. They're only supposed to have one a day, but occasionally, like today, she'll get a couple. Stay there, good girl. So she'll chew on that for a little while. She doesn't chew everything, but she chews these, which is really, really good for us. So while we're on food, we try to keep her on a grain-free diet. We've always been that way with her since we got her. The breeder suggested a certain diet. Lots of people have suggested different things, but just for her and her tummy, the grain-free diet seems to really suit her. So she'll have some of this wet food, and then we just sort of have some grain-free bickies. Is that good, is it? We have grain-free bickies. The bags inside, we usually have a big bag, and we haven't found a spot or a cupboard or anything that we can keep the big bag of biscuits. The tins actually go down the very bottom on that little fold down underneath our kitchen sink and our oven, that little, what is it called, the little kickboard that drops down. That's where we keep the wet food. And the big bag of biscuits, to be honest, I just chuck it beside my bed, because I've just got a bath mat next to my bed, and I just sit the biscuits there, and it's out of the way. So you're not having a whole cup of biscuits. I know. How was that? Was that good? Hey? So anyway, so that's food. So she's on a grain-free diet. She gets her treats, which is generally the toothbrushes, which can help clean her teeth. We don't give her a lot of scraps or anything like that, just because she has an upset tummy if she does. Raw meats does not go down well with her, and big chunks of food, because she still is a bit of a gulper. So that is why.
And she's had bones caught.
Yeah, she's had bones caught. So we actually have these bowls. These are awesome. This has been the best investment. She can't shovel her food anywhere near like she used to without having all of these. I know lots of people have them. There's some really smart dogs that just know how to tip it up, but she hasn't figured that one out. So these bowls, if you've got a gutsy dog that doesn't like to chew things, these are absolutely brilliant. Hey, there's nothing in there though. So that's her bowl. In the caravan at night, we just have a bowl here. Like, this is the bowl. We just keep this inside of water. So that's her water bowl at night, and we just sit that in front of the shower, in front of the shower door, just on a bath mat. So she just knows to come and go and have her water as she pleases through the night, because she does drink a lot. Okay, what's next? Her favourite toy is your porcupine. Hey, so this toy, this is like, I think, number 3, hedgehog 3, because the other 2 actually found new homes with other dogs that just became obsessed with them when we were playing with it. So we ended up just saying, look, you know what, you guys can hang on to them and we'll get her a new one. And she gets like a kid in a candy store. When you go to the pet store and you bring home a toy, she goes mad. She gets so excited. She throws it in the air, she throws it around, she sleeps with it. So she chases balls, but you like your hedgehog, don't you? Hey, you ready? Do you want to get it? She's too interested in the food behind me. So anyway, so this is her favourite little hedgehog toy. So you'd be very upset if this was to go missing. So it's like a kid in a blankie, really. Hey?
Well, I do have a quick question before you go on.
Yes?
The biggest question we get asked about Ahsoka is what?
I don't know.
What breed of dog is she?
I know. So many people ask us, what breed of dog is Ahsoka? And we've had some funny ones, but the funniest one was a pug.
Poor Ahsoka.
Poor Ahsoka. She is a purebred Kelpie. This is actually what they're supposed to look like. This is the original form of Kelpie. If you look back in the history books and things like that, we've actually done a lot of research before we got her. I grew up with Kelpies, so I grew up with the other Kelpies, the farm dogs, sort of thin, tall, Kelpie-looking dogs. So when Tim showed me the Kelpie he wanted to get, I was actually a bit taken back, saying, well, that's not a Kelpie. And so now I understand that, because lots of people are actually say the same thing to us. They say, oh, what breed is she? So she is. She's a purebred Kelpie. We got her from an incredible breeder down in Brizzy. We still stay in touch with her. We send her photos and videos, and she absolutely loves seeing how much she's grown. So that's possibly where we may be heading the mid-year. We just haven't decided yet. So, yeah, so she is. She's a Kelpie.
Yeah.
To answer that question. All right. So when you're going into all the areas in the bush and the country, and we all worry about the ticks and all the bugs and stuff, we have gone to NexGard. This is what we use for her. It's just a little chewable tablet that she has, and it seems to have really helped us. You can't have one now. You're due tomorrow. So this is just for our own peace of mind and to keep her safe. We haven't been into a position where we've had to think about muzzling for the baits, the 1080 baits. We have spoken to vets and places about them. We haven't had to really venture into that yet, but that's probably something we'll have to consider possibly next year or the year after. If anyone has any tips on that one, if their dog's out in those areas where they are around a lot, whether you recommend a certain muzzle, that'd be really handy, because we're not really excited about having to put a metal one on her, but we'll do it if it means it'll save her. So, because she is a bit of a guts and she will sniff and chew. So, anyone who has any tips on muzzles for those areas, that would be awesome.
In the comments below,
the comments below, just throw some questions in there or some ideas in there. That'd be really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I keep turning that way. I should have put everything in front of me. I'm not very organised. Grooming. Okay, so Ahsoka loves to be groomed. I know. She absolutely loves to be groomed. You brush her, you comb her. We actually wash her with a dry wash. So most days when Tim comes back from his walk, after she's had a treat and she's cooled down, she gets a bit of a brush. So we have the normal comb that we use to sort of, you know, just go through and comb her as normal. But I've also invested in a de-shedding comb. This has been brilliant. I hadn't really used one before we hit the road, but I did get one recently, and it's changed our lives. As long as you know what you're doing, speak to someone, because this can be quite sharp and you can actually damage the dog's skin underneath. Because if you're pushing too hard and you're scraping right into the dog, you can actually damage their skin. So it's really, really important that you get somebody to show you how to do the de-shedding on your dog, because it's not just like a general blunt like comb. I've done grooming before, so I knew what I was doing. But if you're not sure and you're a beginner, just check with where you buy it, check with a vet or anyone in a pet store where you buy it from. But it does get a lot of the dead hair out and the undercoat that she's losing. And then I usually finish it off using this comb. We comb it through, and then, because she loves the soft bristle brush, she just loves it. You can do this to her all day, and she'll just stay there all day, won't you, hey? She's a good girl. And the funny thing is, she loves to be massaged. So every time we pull up somewhere and we have to put the legs down, and we get the drill out to drill the legs down, just because, you know, we're lazy, she'll come over and she'll sit down next to me, and she will not leave me alone until I get the drill and I start drilling really gently into all around her neck and her chest. And she will sit there. I'll have to get some footage and show you if we can do it before we put this up. And she absolutely loves it. Campers think it's hilarious because every time the drill comes out, she knows the noise and she comes over. The same thing with our mini vacuum. She will actually let us vacuum over her really gently. I mean, it's not a very powerful vacuum, but she absolutely loves it. Anyway, our dog has favourite things that she likes, I guess, hey? So that's what we use to groom her. Most days we try and do it every day, because she's living practically in the caravan with us now. And then if she's really stinky and we are not near somewhere where you can wash her, or we're short on water because we're free camping somewhere, we have come across the waterless no rinse shampoo, and it's coconut lime. So what it is, I'll show you what it is. This is like her bath on the road if we don't have a lot of water. And then she starts to smell amazing. So look at this, it's just like it's a bit windy, sorry. It's just like a foam, it pumps out. You want some bath? Or do you want this? And then you just put it onto her fur, and you can just rub it in. And she starts to smell really nice. And she loses that doggy smell if she's been swimming in dams and things like that, or just too much ocean and then rolling in seaweed or something. We just put this on her and she smells like a coconut. So she really, really loves it. So we'll do that all over her whole body, and she gets a massage with it. So that's the way we keep her smelling really good. And we don't get the doggy smell at all in our caravan. We never have, even when we had both the dogs with us. And this is hard. She can lick it, it's okay. So this is not terrible for the dog or sickness or chemically. So this is okay for her to lick herself. You can't have the whole bottle. Yeah, I think that was, I think that answered most of the questions. Her sleeping arrangements.
Yep.
That was a big thing. So when we had the two dogs, they did sleep outside. We've actually got a run that we have connected underneath the caravan. So it runs from one side to the other, and she's on a lead, so she can run back and forth under the van, but she's under the van, so she's got shelter from rain or weather and the heat. Places where we are at the moment, the dogs are cruisy to be off lead. No one has a problem, and she doesn't leave our campsite anyway, because like I said, she's terrified of most things. So we're lucky that she will just sit around the van. But when we're in caravan parks or areas where the dogs have to be on lead, we always put her on the run, so she's still got tons of room to move around. So she's not outside, she'll be inside with us. Now, I think we'll probably throw some footage over the top of this so you can see her lifestyle on the inside of the van. Now she's an inside dog. She has her bed, which is this here. Come here, Soaps. You want to show them your bed? Up, in your bed. In your bed. Good girl. Sit down. Good girl. Good girl. So her bed, this here has been the most amazing investment because where's the brand? I can't remember what the brand was. I did look it up. It's called Buddy and Bell. And this whole bed, actually, you can actually unzip the whole bed. You can take the inner from the very bottom out, and you can also take this whole thing out, and it's just like a pillow inside. And then you can actually throw this whole thing into the wash. Now, we've done that already a couple of times in like a machine where you can wash dog linen and stuff. We never ever put our anything to do with the dog in a caravan park where it's a washing machine for clothes. So just be really mindful of that, because I'd be pretty devastated if I put all my clean clothes through a washing machine someone had just put a dog bed through, because the fur just stays in there. So this comes up a real treat after you've washed it, and it's also an anxiety bed. So Ahsoka was a little bit, she had a bit of anxiety. She always has had it, even when we had Sammy with us. But we thought we'd get something more for her where she could settle, and these were recommended. We went in there, we tried lots of beds with her, and this was the one that we picked. So the whole inside of the bed, the dogs can actually snuggle their head right into the whole edge of this bed because it comes up really high. She can make the bed, she can dig in the bed, she can sprawl right out on the bed. But this here, I think, has been a really good thing for her. She actually has not eaten anything for months now. Like, she has not eaten any more camping chairs or linen or bed or clothes or teddies, because she's always been an eater. She doesn't just chew, she eats whatever it is. And I think the bed's really helped her, and just all the extra attention, I guess, and love that she's had. Yeah.
How does she travel?
So traveling, she's a breeze. I'll grab her lead, which is up here. So this is her lead we use, and we're not going for a walk, darling. We actually have just a harness for her, one of these easy dog harnesses. They only had blue available, otherwise she'd probably be in pink or purple. That's why I think some people always think she's a boy, but she's not. And then we have one of these just extendable ones that can go right out. Just because we go to a lot of places where dogs have to be on lead, it's nice to give her that extra space to stretch out and run ahead of us and just, feel like she's not with us. Another reason we got this harness was because in the car we've got the seat belt that clicks into the seat belt, and then the connection then clicks onto her harness. So it's not around her neck, it's around her chest, and it's just a safer way for her to be harnessed into the car when we're traveling. And she literally knows as soon as she goes up and in. We've got a dog matting on the actual back seat on her side, so she's not directly sitting on the seat in the car. Couldn't dirty the ram. So once she's hooked in, she just settles down and she takes over she's shoving the camera. She takes over most of the two seats in the back seat, and Riley ends up with one. But she's always snuggling into Riley's leg. So it's the same concept as this corner of this bed. She likes to have her little nose and her face snuggled into something. And so she's just a great traveller. She'll just sleep the whole time, and then she'll get up, she'll go out, we'll do a stop, she'll go to the toilet, and she'll be just like, okay, I'm ready to get back in again. So we don't actually have to worry too much about her travelling at all.
And she's not a wanderer?
She doesn't go anywhere. She's actually a really good dog. It's why I'm a little bit hesitant getting another one as well, because we've got it really good right now. We've got a dog that doesn't bark, she doesn't growl, she doesn't attack dogs. She's just with us 24/7, and she just wants to be with us. So yeah, getting a second dog, it is a little bit, plays on my mind, feeling like, are we going to shoot ourselves in the foot? I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll find out if we get one middle of next year. This year, sorry. Okay, it's only just in the beginning of the new year. I said I'll be saying next year for at least the next month.
And her name. Should I answer this one?
I'm going to let you answer this.
Okay.
This was not my doing. So Ahsoka was originally bought for Tim. She's kind of Tim's dog, so he got to choose her name.
Hi. Well, as most of you, or some of you may know, I'm a Star Wars fanatic.
Freak.
Well, when I say that, everything except episodes 7, 8 and 9, we don't worry about those episodes. But everything other than that, I really, really enjoy. And there was we knew we were getting a girl, so I had to choose a female Star Wars name. And didn't want to call her Leia, because that just sounded a bit sort of ordinary. So, of course, went for the next best female character in Star Wars. And
in your opinion?
Well, who else is there?
I don't know. You're the Star Wars fan.
No.
Not me.
So the next best female, well, probably the best female character in Star Wars really, is Ahsoka. So Ahsoka is now coming up with her own TV series. So ever since like Ahsoka's become famous on YouTube, they've now decided to make a TV series about the actual character. So she originally started in the Clone Wars animated series, and she was Anakin's Padawan. So
this probably makes no sense to half the population, but for the other half, they'll get it.
But they're actually making a TV series about her now, which it's going to be awesome.
Not about the dog, about the Star Wars Ahsoka.
Yeah, I know, but only really, but because she's such a superhero. You know?
Yes. Yeah, so we do already have a name picked out for the next dog.
We do.
Which is not something that we'll tell you because we'll wait till we get the dog, but we do actually have a name already picked out, which carries on with the Star Wars theme. I okayed it. I think it's quite sweet. So I think that's just going to have to be something that we do.
Yeah.
Hey, you come up here? Up.
But she is I've never known a dog like Ahsoka.
No. She's very tentative. She's very, she is quite demanding, but that's the Kelpie, where she's always wanting...
very attentive.
Always wanting food. But Tim and I will be laying in bed having a cuddle, and the next minute you've got the dog up behind us, coming between us, and she wants to come in for the cuddle as well. Riley will jump in and he'll try and push her out of the way, and then she'll come and she'll jump on top of Riley and lay across all of us on the bed if we're all on the bed without her. I think she's part human. I don't think she's all dog. She's a super special little pup, aren't you? Hey?
She's incredibly attentive too, isn't she?
Yeah, if something's wrong or we hurt ourselves, or, you know, generally she'll just come over and see if you're okay, and then she'll wander off. But yeah, but I think that pretty much covers everything that people were questioning in regards to everything: food, bedding, walking.
And if ever we do want to go to a national park, and that has happened, like when we went to a couple of the national parks, like the Flinders Ranges in the South Australia. I know, you weren't very happy about that one, were you, mate?
She talks a lot.
Yeah, that's it.
This is her talking.
We actually did put her in a kennel. So if ever we do want to go to a national park, we will have to put her into a kennel.
And that's the other thing, you see, she's only ever been in a kennel with another dog, like with Sammy, the two of them. So that's another reason I feel like I really would love to have that companionship for her. I mean, also chuck that in the comments. You know, should we be getting another dog for her and for us, or should we keep the good thing that we've got going, whereas it's really easy with her? So, I don't know, chuck it in the comments. I know it comes down to personal preference, but we really don't feel like we have missed out on anything.
No.
We feel like we have seen so much already, and we've barely scratched the surface, and we've done it with dogs. And there's a lot of people out there that travel with dogs. I know a lot of people thought we were mad originally, traveling with two dogs. But we just wouldn't have it any other way. They're our family, and we just love it. And it's just nice to have, I don't know, well, we enjoy going and walking the dog or taking her down for a swim. Like, we're going to be, after this, we're actually heading down to the dam down there, the big lake. I'm going to put her on the paddleboard, and we're going to paddleboard around the lake, and she'll probably jump on and off as she pleases, chasing ducks or whatever in the water. So, I don't know. For us, we love it. And we wouldn't do it any differently. And like Tim said, if there's something that we really want to do national park wise, we'll look ahead, we'll book ahead, and we'll have her into a kennel where she'll stay for a couple of nights, and we can just go and do what we need to do. Yeah, you want some more? So yeah, I think that's about it. I think we've covered everything. I'm sure there's a bunch of other things I've probably forgotten to discuss that people were asking.
She's an awesome dog.
But yeah, if you're questioning it, you're not sure about it, I think you just got to do it, experience it, and see if it's for you. If you get out there and you think, oh my gosh, what have I done? I don't want to take the dog. This is too much for me. It's so much work. Just, turn around, look for options, and just make sure that they're staying with some really good people and you can do your trip. Otherwise, just take them with you, because they're the best companion and they're just so much fun.
And if you have any questions, just drop a question in the comments and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that, I think.
Let's go down to the river or the lake.
Let's go paddleboarding.
All right, let's go.
'Cause I found my way, my way, my way, on my way.